Well, welcome back to the garden here at Gardener's Cottage in Blakeney on the North Norfolk coast. We've got a few things to show you. Although it's very early spring, a few developments taken place in the garden with new fencing, keeping these two puppies, well, only one at the moment, I don't know where her sister is, nicely contained in the back garden. So let's go and have a look around this garden in very early spring here in the UK and see what's coming up. Well, it won't be long until we get some colour in these little buds just coming through. I think they're probably tete-a-tete or February gold. And as we're filming this towards the end of January, you can see quite a few little pots where they've been planted out in this, what used to be a gravel bed, but has been allowed to self-seed. We have planted it with some roses. That is either Gertrude Jekyll or William Shakespeare, I forget now, and it's lost its label many years ago. But it's a spectacular rose in front of the cottage here on an eastern aspect. Does very well though later in the summer. First of the snowdrops just poking through the carpet of crabapple leaves that blanket the ground here. We're just to the side of the main front gate coming into Gardeners. There we go, that's the gravel driveway as it winds its way round in front of the white cottage. The birches just behind us. Beautiful blue sky here in Blakeney, as you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. Still day after Storm Eowyn. Just gave us a little buffering. We didn't get anything like the winds they had up north here, but brought a few leaves down. That was about it for us. These little tufts of green coming through are actually grape hyacinths, but they just don't ever get enough light here to mature or form enough strength in the bulb to actually flower each year. So all we get are these little tufts of green. It does give us a reservoir of grape hyacinth bulbs that we can move around to the other parts of the garden, and you'll see where we've done that. What does flower in here are the little primroses, and to a degree the little cyclamen, as you can see. And these little, I think they're euphorbias, self-seed all around the gravel here in Gardeners. Give us this lovely little, very early bracts. No colour in them apart from the green. A little bit of powder yellow just in those inner sepals on the flowers, but it's majority yellow, light lime green that catches the light so beautifully. And they do, as I say, self-seed really nicely. More hyacinth bulbs you can see just popping up through here. One of the jobs we've got on here over the weekend is to tidy up and remove a lot of this dying material which we've left over winter for the birds, and also for when the frost comes. These really do light up against the dark green background of the hedge, but they're looking a little tatty now, and beyond being things of beauty to looking a little scruffy. And as the lush lime green of the spring bulb starts coming through, we're going to tidy all those up and get them onto the compost heap now. These two little combination gates have been fitted in early January. It means that the back garden's now completely enclosed, and gives us a compartmental option to either have dogs in this front yard area, but if you've got people coming and going, it's really nice to be able to put them out through the French windows into the back garden here at Gardeners and know that they're completely contained and safe. Our 3 dogs are here. And we've also had these gates and fences meshed with this, I think it's 2-inch, quite substantial meshwork that really prevents even the smallest dog getting out or under all of this fencing. So you can be confident and relaxed about your little friends when they're out in the back garden here, which is completely walled and fenced on all aspects. Let's go and have a look, see what's coming up in this bit. Well, these are more of those little dwarf hyacinths or muscari, and you can see here they're doing far better, much more shorter growth really, but in this aspect we're fighting the muntjac and deer that you can see if you get close up have been eating the green growth on this. They will come back into flower later in the season, but they're not putting any bud up yet, so they are feeling a little bit of that stress really. The large fig tree completely in its winter dormancy now. Those little embryonic figs that formed last year won't do anything. They all in this cold Norfolk climate don't overwinter, they will just shrivel, and the fig crop we'll get is just a single crop later in the season, picked around late July on the new growth, but it's looking very healthy. We are having constantly to cut this fig back because it's got so vigorous in this position, just loves it in this southern aspect. Behind that is the rosemary that's been in place probably for about 15 years, just coming into flower. You see the buds just coming on that? It does give a really lovely flush of very early mauve purpley flowers, and it's absolutely profusely covered with them as well. Formed quite a nice hedge which we've managed to prune back. It's really opened this aspect up. It was a sort of bottleneck here with the old fencing that used to run in front of this aspect. Two puppies really enjoying the garden in this morning January sunlight. They just love it here. We can relax and let them out in the garden and they'll just play with each other, occasionally get into trouble digging holes. Golden doodles do love digging, and can't really stop them. This aspect can't really get up to too much damage, as long as they don't go for any of the bulbs, but they've got more sense than that, I think. Got these pots of roses which we rotate round onto the front of the house. At the moment we've got those evergreens in place. Struggled with these bay trees over the last couple of years. Just look how yellow that foliage is now. In this light it looks spectacular, but I think we've got the acidity or pH of the compost wrong for these, because all the new growth looks anemic, if that's the right phrase for a plant. Not enough chlorophyll forming in it. You can see the older leaves are dark green, but these ones just very lime green. So if you've got any tips for me in terms of what's causing that on a bay tree, I suspect it's the compost that we've planted them in. It's either too alkali or too acid. We are feeding them regularly with a liquid sea feed and some grow more, so I don't think it's the lack of nutrients per se. It must be an acidity problem causing lack of absorption, but do give me some advice on that, please. The choicea behind, we cut that really hard back at the end of last season. This was a massive shrub which was partially obstructing this entrance into the little gravel area, and it was hacked right back as soon as it finished flowering, and it's come back really beautifully as expected, and should flower later on this season as well. Scent off the choices, absolutely gorgeous. Another one of those little self-seeded euphorbias in there with its bracts. And then the long border, not doing very much at this time, full of bulbs that we planted last year. On the back wall, just a little sprinkling of this winter flowering jasmine. Just look at that. You have to get close up to even appreciate it. It's not a spectacular big volume of flower, but nonetheless beautiful when you do get close up. Do need to get the ivy off those walls, because on these limed carstone or flint walls, the ivy will pull quite a bit of the mortar mix out if left, so it needs to come away. Look at all those bulbs coming up in this long run. These were all planted and flowered beautifully last season. Thick planting, too thick to actually introduce any more bulbs over the winter period, but if we can squeeze a few more pots in, if we can see a gap later in the season, that's the way to thicken these up. So, you having a nice time out here? Yes, she is. And a sister being very good in the background as I film. So I hope you've enjoyed this little snippet view of where we're at in the garden at Gardener's Cottage. Lovely peaceful morning, just with a bird song in the backdrop. No builders going on a Saturday morning here at Blakeney, which is quite unusual. Just been having a chat with one of the neighbours about all the development that's almost constant here in this little Norfolk enclave on the North Norfolk coast. There's the cottage itself, looking very happy in this morning sunshine, and just look at that sky. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.